Hi, we're really happy that you tuned in today. We got a good show for you, and we hope that you enjoy it. I just wanted to go over some of the events that are happening, and we're going to start out here. May 11th is the Celebration of Spring Fling Craft Festival at the Edgar Evans State Park, and that's Saturday, May the 11th, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's free admission for shoppers. You got crafts, vendors, demonstrators, and treats. And you can also get a reserve booth space if you want to. And you just contact NL Beal on Facebook or email, and it's bealscouts@yahoo.com for more details. And if you can't remember that, just call us at the Chamber, 615-735-2093, and we'll give you the information on it. Also, on Saturday, May 18th, in Wilson County, the Master Gardeners of Wilson County present the native plant sale. Over 100 species of Tennessee native perennials, trees, and shrubs. So if you're wanting to plant in your yard or around your house plants that'll thrive in this area, this is a good place for you to go. And that's Saturday, May 18th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Cedars of Lebanon State Park Assembly Hall. And it's a rain or shine event. And it says here, cash, cards, checks accepted. And the proceeds go to benefit the Master Gardeners of Wilson County. Over here in town at Rogan Raven, in celebration of the Mad Hatter and all of that, they got a Mad Mother's Tea Party. It's Sunday, May the 19th, and that's of course the week after Mother's Day. And it's at 11 a.m. and there's a $40 charge for that. And that's over on Main Street at the Rogan Raven, which is a board game store that's here in town. Then we'd also like to mention that Jane Reed's Pleasant Shade Cafe presenting the inaugural Pleasant Shade Community Market. And that's June the 15th, 2024, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that's at 725 Pleasant Shade Highway. And I'll just read what they said here. We're delighted to announce the Pleasant Shade Community Market featuring over 50 vendors offering crafts, arts, homesteading, direct sales, face painting, bouncy houses, Finkelpot Fairy hair, and more. And they said, join us for a day of fun. A portion of the proceeds go to the Pleasant Shade Fire Department. And they're still accepting applications for vendors. And if you want to email them, it's pleasantsshadecommunitymarket@gmail.com. And again, if you don't remember that, just call us at the Chamber, 615-735-2093. We'd also like to mention to you that May the 23rd, we're having our annual Chamber dinner. It's at the Smith County Agricultural Center. And we're honored to have as our speakers Mayor Jeff Mason and the 45th Vice President of the United States, Albert Gore Jr. And so if you want to come to that event, just call us at the Chamber, 615-735-2093, and we'll see about getting you tickets. And we'd like to invite you to be a part of that. And so that's it for the community announcements. And so now we'll get into our show. Well, it's springtime again, and one of the things that we do in the spring is we talk about what's going on at Cordell Hall. And we've had a privilege of having Mr. Kenny here. Kenny, tell them who you are, who you with.
Okay, good afternoon. My name's Kenny Clovel. I'm the Natural Resource Manager at Cordell Hole Lake with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. All
right, and there's a lot of stuff going on this spring, and so I'm going to have you just kind of walk me through it. I think the biggest thing, though, that I notice is that mug behind you right there, and I want you to talk about that now if you want to start something else, but that mug's a big deal.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a great starting place. This year, as a fundraiser for the Friends of Cordell Hole Lake, they just got started last year, and they worked with the Rotary and sewed some knives and Cordell Hole stuff. But last year was Cordell Hole's 50th anniversary. This year is Dei Creek Campground's 50th anniversary. So it actually opened in May of 1974. So to kind of commemorate that, the Friends group came up with this nice mug, basically talking about Dei Creek Campground, Dei Creek Recreation Area, and what it has to offer. If you're interested in getting your limited edition mug, you can pick them up at either Dei Creek Campground, Salt Lick Campground, or at the resource manager's office there right below the dam.
Okay, so, and the one thing I know you want to mention, we had talked about this before, Dei Creek is in the high ranking in the nation, right?
Correct. Yeah, Dei Creek is the top-rated campground in the Nashville district as far as visitation and use. And then nationally, it is 5th amongst all Corps of Engineers campgrounds.
Okay, so that's a pretty big deal because if you're talking about nationwide, that's a big deal.
Yes, it's basically the pride of the district when it comes to camping. It has some of the better amenities, and with Cordell Hole being a latter project, it had more development for recreation, and we were lucky enough to have Dei Creek Recreation Area, Salt Lick, and the different parks around the lake. And Defeated is kind of our pride and joy. And I guess one thing for a couple people, if you visit that area, we've got a couple of new additions, and it's restrooms. So at the beach area, we got a new restroom there, and the good part about it's a unisex unit with 4 separate individual stalls. So as families come to the beach, you can actually go in there, change, have your own little private restroom area with a shower. And then also down by the walking trail and the entrance to the Barw Gap, we have a new restroom there closer to the parking lot, making it easier access for trail users and people utilizing the picnic shelter.
Okay, and we got a wonderful chamber member down there. Defeated Creek Marina is down there, and they've got a restaurant and cabins, and I think you can rent kayaks and boats and just different things like that, houseboats.
Correct. Yep.
So there's a lot of amenities down there at Defeated Creek.
Yes, we were blessed when they designed that area to have everything kind of all down one road. You got a swim area, a couple of launching ramps, you got hiking trails, a campground, and day use areas in the marina right there to serve the customers.
Well, and the one thing I notice every time I drive down through there, the wildlife, the deer, they know they're safe, so they'll let you watch them and you can photograph them, and there's a lot of deer down there.
Yes, we are blessed with deer, probably too many. That's one reason, I guess, about the last 11 years we've had a youth hunt there to kind of help control that population and keep them a little bit wild, kind of afraid of people. So that's usually in December. We bring in about 10 youth to that area for a weekend, and they kind of harvest a few of those to help with the populations.
Yeah, well, and deer don't realize it, but fear of humans is probably a good thing for them.
Yes.
Yeah, very good thing. Well, now you've got the hiking trails and the walking trails down there too that actually start right there in Defeated Creek at the campground.
Yeah, so one thing we had, this past weekend was we had a trail hike that we've been able to do. This is the second year in partnership with the Friends of Cordell Hole Lake. They provide shuttle service for anybody who wants to hike the Barw Gap. It's 5.5 miles one way, so that ends up being an 11-mile hike if you park at Defeated, hike to the overlook and back. So with the shuttle service, they'll pick you up there, take you to the overlook and back. So that's been a great amenity. We've been able to work with them, and they also provided that same service for the Periwinkle Trail, which is over by Wildwood Resort and Marina and Indian Creek Campground. It kind of connects those two areas. So we've already had the hike and the shuttle service this year, but next year look for that around Earth Day, usually about April 22nd. Yep. April time frame. We'll hopefully be doing that again.
Okay, so if you want to kind of put that on your calendar, because that's a pretty sweet deal, being able to just do the one leg and have a shuttle service back.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a really nice deal. And you guys usually start that early in the morning?
Yeah, we do shuttles 8:30, 9, and 9:30, and that gives people usually getting back in. The first group will be around 11:30, 12 o'clock to about 2 o'clock. And then with the Friends group, we were able to have lunch for them. We had hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, drinks. So that was you get off the trail, kind of get your protein back and a little energy.
And if I remember right, you shuttle them to the start point and then they hike back down. And so the party's kind of at when they're over their hike.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
And then along the way, they also provide snacks and water at Two Prong, which is about the halfway point. So you get about halfway through, you can take a little break, get you a snack, water, and then finish up the trail. Okay, well now there's some other things too that's going on. I know, like you had mentioned, it might not be something you'd notice, but you've done some improvements to like Salt Lick and some other campgrounds. Yes, so as part of the infrastructure money from 22, we're able to get those supplies and materials, and then during the off season this year, we worked with Upper Cumberland Electric, and we installed 7,500 feet of primary electric line. That's all underground. You don't see it, but it's a necessity for camping. If you notice people show up and their electricity don't work, they're not happy. So that was the original line that was put in. So it's going on 50 years old. We were able to get that replaced, so that way we shouldn't have any interruptions with power. And that was a great job on their part and our contractors to get it put in and get the campground open back up on schedule April the 10th.
Okay, and Salt Lick, a lot of people use it too now.
Yes, we've seen an increase in use there, especially since COVID and Defeated. Like we talked about how busy it was, it runs about a 78 to 80% occupancy rate. Salt Lick over about the past 7-8 years has went from about 38 to about 52% occupancy rate. So it's getting a lot more use. It's more scenic. The other upgrade we had there was water lines. We'd had a lot of issues with water leaks, so losing water, kind of running up the utility costs. So we got about 6,500 feet of water line installed during the off season, some new hydrants, and make that a lot better for campers and hopefully even out their pressure.
So if they want to come to Smith County, they can come to Dei Creek and camp, or Salt Lick and camp, and then I think there's 2 or 3 other private camping sites around here that obviously you wouldn't necessarily have anything to do with, but there's a lot of camping opportunities here in Smith County.
Which Salt Lick is in Jackson, right past Smith County. It's probably about 5 miles into Jackson County there, but it's a great campground. It's a little more remote, a little more scenic than Defeated, and it's probably the reason it don't get as much use, but once you get there, it's kind of worth it if you're looking for the peace and tranquility.
Oh yeah, well, and Cordell Hall Lake is slated to be for its lifetime a pristine lake and something that you can come to and see nature.
Yes.
And it was written into the contract that way when it was started. So I'm glad it's that way.
Yes, it was. The land around the lake was purchased for recreation and fish and wildlife management, which makes it perfect for anybody who wants to come and enjoy the lake.
Right, and of course your rangers, they help monitor that and make sure the chipmunks and the rabbits and the deer and all of that are happy.
Yeah, and I guess one thing that they've been working on is a partnership with U.S. Fish and Wildlife and Tennessee Tech is on Short's bladder pod, which it is an endangered plant, and it's only known to exist in 3 states, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and there's only about 33, 35 individual populations of it. And we have several of those here on Cordell Hole Lake. So they've been working with Tech, Tennessee Department of Natural Heritage, and then U.S. Fish and Wildlife to actually monitor those plants. They did some boat surveys, and we did a couple of posts on our Facebook page about that, but that's something we're working on, kind of monitoring those. And from this year, the population seemed to be increasing from previous years, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and then you guys are also responsible for like Caney Fork and Cumberland shorelines, is that right?
Yes, so our area of responsibility is Cordell Hole Lake, and then it's also the section of Old Hickory Lake down to the Smith-Trousdale County line. And then it goes up the Caney Fork River to the Stonewall Bridge.
Okay, well, and that's one of the things that we got a real asset here in the Caney Fork River, kayaking and trout fishing.
Yes, Smith County is blessed to have both the Cumberland and the Caney Fork right here in our back door.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have those recreation possibilities. And I don't think people utilize the Cumberland River as much as they could. I know there's a lot of fishermen that and there's some record fish. In fact, we're in the Carthage Junction Depot, and I talked about that. There's a record stripe hanging on the wall back here that was caught right here in the Caney Fork.
Yes.
Mr. Robert Wagner will give you credit for that. But anyway, well, is there anything else that we need to mention that I might have missed?
The only thing I can think of right now is a couple things. One is, we've had the tailwater fishing access right below the dam closed because we've been doing some bluff scaling or stabilization work there. That is scheduled, that contract to be done May 22nd. So hopefully they'll be done, cleaned up. We can reopen that area to the public. And then with that, we've got planned for June the 8th, we're going to start doing public tours for the power plant on that day. They'll start at 9 o'clock and we can do up to 50 people. So if you're interested in that, look on our Facebook page. We'll have a link there. You'll have to do a background check in advance, but it's definitely worth the time for that tour.
Oh, absolutely. If you're watching this and this is just coming out, you need to call and get in line on that because it's not often that you get to tour the facility over there, and it is pretty, it's not pretty, it's absolutely impressive. So I'm glad you mentioned that. What is they just need to go online, look at the Corps of Engineers site?
Yeah, so if you'll go to our Facebook page, we'll have a link there, and then there'll be a link for the background check. You'll fill it out, email it back, it'll go to our mailbox, we'll send that in, get the background check run, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, well that's a real opportunity, so don't forget about that. Well, Kenny, thank you for coming by.
Thank you, Mr. Warder.
All right.
Appreciate it.
See you. All right, we're always happy to have UT Extension here for us. And Katie, again, tell them who you are, who you're with. I know they know, but we need to do that.
We're so glad to be here, Bill. Thanks for always inviting us. I'm Katie Martin with UT Extension. I'm the County Director and Agriculture and Natural Resource Agent for Smith County.
Okay, now what do we got going on? I know you guys always have something going on.
We always do have something going on. If you didn't know about that, make sure to check us out either at our website, smith.tennessee.edu, or our Facebook page, UT Extension /Smith County. Those are both good ways to keep up with all the exciting things we have going on. In the ag world, we've got a couple of events coming up that I'm really excited about. One of those takes place at the Chamber, our monthly lunch and learn sessions.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Yeah. We've got a May one coming up on May 14th. We do those at lunchtime, so you can kind of take an hour lunch break with us, eat a little bit, and learn a little bit, and it's only $5, so that's the cheapest place you can get lunch in town. Our May one is gonna actually be about gardening, so small space gardening, tomatoes and peppers, and then you can also start signing up for our June lunch and learn, which is gonna be composting 101. So both really good topics for right now, as people are really getting in the swing of getting all those warm season plants out to hopefully have great gardens this year. Also, one of my favorite events of the year is coming up, and that's our Women in Agriculture Summit. We put this on with our Upper Cumberland Extension team, so it's an 11 county area that all comes together for this event. And of course, it's targeted to women in agriculture, but you don't have to be in production agriculture. You could be in an agriculture related business, an agriculture educator, even maybe a high school ag student. So we all get together and as women in agriculture, learn from one another, learn new skill sets, try to empower one another, network. It's just a really great day with great speakers. This year is gonna be May 30th, and it's actually in Rickman, Tennessee at Bilbrey's Crossing, which is a really pretty venue. So we would invite you to join us. We actually have a couple of free spots left for Smith County Women in Agriculture. Thanks to Smith County Farm Bureau, they sponsored that. So call as soon as you can and you may be able to snag one of those free spots, or it's $20 if we run out of those spots. But it's a great event. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, and you guys, of course, are always doing things like this, but that education about learning how to garden better and farm better, that's what you guys are all about. That's
Absolutely,
wonderful.
absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm sure you got something else going on too.
Well, I was just going to mention, because we've got several questions about it. If anybody's been talking about the cicadas, that's been on the news, it's been in newspapers.
The 13 year and the 17 year.
Yes, so that has been a question we have received. So I wanted just to touch on it and put everyone's mind at ease. This isn't, anything super abnormal. They are on that 13 or 17 year periodical cycle, depending on the species. They are probably gonna emerge here soon. Basically, as soon as that ground temp gets above 64, 65 degrees, the adults start emerging. They're harmless to humans and pets as far as they don't sting or bite. Sometimes pets can eat them and cause stomach problems, but other than that, they're totally harmless. They can cause some plant damage on our young trees, nurseries and young orchards specifically. Sometimes do stuff to prevent the females from laying eggs in those young trees. You can use something like cheesecloth or tobacco canvas to cover that plant, and that's going to be more effective than an insecticide or something like that. But the only damage they can do is laying eggs in those young trees and plants. So don't worry if you have heard a lot about the cicadas coming. I think we'll all be just fine.
Well, yeah, and when I was a little boy, they called them locusts, but they're not locusts.
Yeah.
A locust is basically a big grasshopper, but these are totally different. They're different species altogether.
They are different.
And that was the one thing I learned when I was a kid. They're pretty harmless.
Yeah.
They used to leave the little, when they would molt, the little
their
shells on
yeah.
the trees and stuff.
And they make a lot of noise. The males, sing for mating calls, so they do make a little bit of noise. But we've had several questions. Just wanted to put everyone's mind at ease. We'll make it through the, I think it's brood 19. We'll make it through the brood 19 emergence just fine.
Okay, and all you old guys out there, we called them katydids, didn't
Yep.
we? Yeah, and that's not, they're cicadas. But,
Yep.
Hey, colloquial expressions are still a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, anything else going on?
I think that's all, besides wanting to introduce one of our all-star Smith County 4-H'ers, Mr. Gabe Harville. So up next is In the Wild with Gabe Harville.
Take it away, Gabe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of In the Wild. I'm Gabe Harville, and if you know me, you know one of my favorite hobbies is fishing. Particularly fishing in creeks. In this episode, I'd like to enlighten you all about my secrets to having a quality creek fishing experience. Since the 8th grade, my favorite pastime has been wading for stream fish. Though fishing on foot has lost favor over the years, there is something special about stalking fish in their own habitat. Small streams offer untapped potential for quality fishing and a relaxing respite from the daily grind. Across the South, hundreds of small streams hold plentiful numbers of smallmouth bass, rock bass, spotted bass, and others, yet many are seldom fished. Before you go creek fishing, it's important to prepare for this experience. For extended trips, be sure to pack plenty of water, sunscreen, and insect repellent, as well as basic supplies like pliers, clippers, and spare reel spools. In order to have a quality creek fishing experience, it's imperative that you stay comfortable. More often than not when I'm creek fishing, you'll find me in quick-drying khaki shorts, an old t-shirt, and sandals. In the cooler temperatures of late fall and early spring, jackets are a must. And of course, no fishing outfit is complete without a head cover like a baseball cap and polarized sunglasses, which help cut down on water glare and help you see your target fish with greater clarity. One thing I love about creek fishing is that you don't need the fanciest or highest priced fishing gear to do it. It's a relatively simple form of the sport. While other bass anglers have $100 rods and reels, ultralight gear is all you need for creek fishing. And that ultralight rod and reel is not only convenient for creek fishing, the smaller size and lighter weight of the rod will help build to the fight of the fish, making a 6-ounce bluegill feel like a 10-pound bass. It is highly unlikely you will catch all of your creek fish from one particular type of structure. For example, I caught this smallmouth bass on a gravel bar underneath an overhanging tree, while I caught this rock bass on a pile of logs and boulders in the middle of the current. Even still, I caught this spotted gar on an undercut bank with tree roots. It's all about knowing where to present your lure and where the fish will be staging. One of my favorite and most reliable lures to use is this Ozark Trail Ned Craw on a Ned head. Now the key here is to mimic natural forage for the fish. In a creek like this, where rocks are aplenty, crawfish will be as well, so they are obviously going to be one of the staple food for fish in this creek. Other lures that slip onto Ned heads like these leeches and hellgrammites work as well, but I've found that crawfish works every single time because it is the most prevalent natural forage. Chances are high you live in close proximity to a very productive fishing stream. Even if it's not on your property, all it takes is a polite request to a landowner to gain access to some beautiful fishing locations. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you learned a thing or two about creek fishing, and I hope you enjoy yourself next time you're out on the water. Until next time, I'm Gabe Harville, and I hope to see you in the wild. Hello, everybody. I'm Gabe Harville. Restart it. Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you learned a thing or two. There's a bug on my That was a massive spider. Well, there you have it, folks. I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, Miss Rachel, tell them who you are, who you with. I know they probably already know, but go ahead.
I'm Rachel Petty. I am the 4-H agent at the UT Extension office in Smith County.
And I know there's exciting 4-H stuff going on.
Yes, so April was wide open. We had lots of things going on, and we just finished up our archery program. We had our fun shoot last Thursday. That was a lot of fun. We got all our kids that had shot with us, which had wound up being about 60. We had about 60 people participate in that, all the way from 4th grade to 12th grade, so our 4-H range of kids. And they practiced about once a week since February, so they had put a lot of time and effort into it. So we had a fun day to wrap up our archery season. And then they also competed a couple weekends ago, and we came home with 2 of the top 3 awards. So we had the top shooter in the senior high division with the Genesis bows. That was Mr. Easton Bibbings. And we also had the top shooter in the junior high Genesis division. That was Miss Presley Claywell. So they put in a lot of time, and we really got some awards at that contest. They got to feel good about themselves. So that archery group is kind of the biggest after school thing we offer through 4-H. A lot of kids participate. We have a lot of volunteers that make it happen. So appreciative to them. But I think archery is really cool. Obviously, a lot of kids are into it. So we're always glad to offer that, and it keeps growing year after year. We bought some new equipment this time to get more shooters on the line, get those kids kind of the time and practice that they need, obviously, to be successful. So we were glad with how that turned out.
Okay, and if somebody's wondering how their child gets involved in 4-H, it's automatically in the school. So really, all they got to do is just express an interest, right?
Absolutely. So we meet with all of the 4th through 6th graders in the classroom if students are in public schools, and then we meet with a lot of the 7th and 8th graders in that public school setting as well. We have a homeschool group that's open 4th through 12th grade, and if anybody wants to get involved in kind of the extra stuff that we offer, we give them a newsletter in the classroom that's got all my contact information. They can always call the office, 615-735-2900, or send me an email at rpetty@utk.edu.
Okay, well, 4-H is a big deal in Smith County, and we're glad you're with them.
Yes, well, we're glad to be able to offer all those things for our young people. We feel like we let them have fun, give them some of those life skills with the contests that we do. We did livestock judging contest recently, wrapped that up. We came home with some awards from that contest as well. We had the #1 junior competitor, so Mr. Marshall Taylor from Forks River. He was top in all the contests. There was about 86 kids. It was his first year that he had participated, and his team in the junior division won as well. We had some awards from our meat judging contest, so they went and did that. The Harville kids and some of their friends did really well. Of course, their mom is one of our volunteer coaches, and they own a meat processing plant, so they've kind of grown up around the meat judging world, but they were able to show off their skills, and Turner was first place in the junior high division in that contest as well.
Well, and that's wonderful. And I know it's too early to be really talking about it, but 4-H plays a big part in the fair that comes up in July.
Absolutely. So not too early to be thinking about and talking about the fair. We've actually been proofreading our ads that go into the fair book this week in the office. So we are thinking about it, trying to get our junior fair board members and some of our volunteers in place. So the fair will be here before you know it. 4-H is kind of a great way to recruit some of those junior fair board members. I've been mentioning that to them as I've been going into the classroom this month, kind of for a final wrap up of the year. So yes, we need help with the fair in all capacities, adults and kids, and our office works a lot behind the scenes to make the fair happen. And I know there's a lot of people in Smith County that really care about it and put the time into.
Oh yeah, it's a big event here in the county. Well, Rachel, is that everything?
So one more plug for 4-H camp. I will mention that we are still got a couple weeks that you can sign up for 4-H camp. We've got just over half of our spots full, but if you are a 4th through 6th grader, if you have a 4th through 6th grader and want to send them to summer camp with 4-H, we would love to have them. There are still spots available, and you can call or come by the office to get more information about that.
Okay, well, that brings another question. What exactly is 4-H camp? What do they do?
So 4-H camp is held every summer at the Clyde M. York 4-H Center in Crossville, so just about an hour east. It is a great camping facility. There's an Olympic-sized swimming pool. There's an archery range. There's a rifle range. They can go zip lining. There's basketball courts, volleyball courts, so just a ton of fun. They get to meet new friends, have new experiences, spend a lot of time outside, and I'm excited to go to camp, and I think we've got a good crew signed up already. Hopefully some more can get in, but we're gonna have a lot of fun this summer.
And they stay a week?
They stay a week, yes. It is an overnight camp. We get there on Monday morning, we leave on Friday morning, and stay the whole time.
Okay, well that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming by, and if they got questions, tell them that number one last time.
Gonna be 615-735-2900.
Okay, we're here at the depot. Wonderful art shows going on here every month, and Well, tell them who you are and who you're with first.
Okay, my name is Jenny Piniel, and I'm one of the public school art teachers here in the county, and I also am a co-curator of the exhibits here at the Carthage Junction Depot.
Okay, who's your partner in crime?
Keith Williams and I organize the events here.
Okay, and I know there's, when we had the depot committee, and I guess we still do, but you guys are doing such a wonderful job of taking care of it, we don't have to meet much. But I know Virginia was involved, and Ryan, and I've started naming names.
Austin, and there's a lot of people who've contributed.
So I shouldn't have started that.
Well, that's all right. It's good to mention them anytime you can.
Yeah, and it's been wonderful. The depot's turned out so nice, and I know how. I'm going to ask you a question you may not know the answer to. About how many art shows have you had so far?
Oh goodness, probably about 30 at this point, I think. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
Monthly art shows, one weekend a month, and it's just on Saturdays. So it's kind of a pop-up event. Lots of people who come in are surprised to see the building open just because we do monthly events. But if you haven't had a chance to come inside and look, this building is lovely, and they've done such a wonderful job restoring it. And buildings need people, and it's a shame to see something that's beautiful and historic not get used and not get loved, and we are trying our best to love it up with as many beautiful things inside as possible. So. Oh yeah, well you guys have done a wonderful job here, and the building, like I say, it has a life now, and that's what's wonderful. It was built in 1890. And I'm not sure we knew we were going down this road, but it was built in 1890 by the Tennessee Central Railroad, and it was sitting over in Gordonsville there at Carthage Junction, and of course it got moved to right beside the interstate, and it had a life there as an antique store, a car dealership, a barbecue place, another antique store, and it had several lives there. And then when the KFC, and if you go by the interstate over there and you see the KFC, this building was sitting right there where it was, or where it is. And luckily we were able to save it. KFC worked with us, and we brought that under the interstate and set it here on county property. And we have pictures of that. So if you haven't seen it, it's amazing the effort it took to get here. Well, but we've kind of bird walked a little bit, haven't we? Well, we have. And since we went down that trail, I want to mention some folks, Rackley Roofing. They literally removed the roof and then put it back on. Mr. John Leftwich Sr., he made a major donation to this project because he believed in it, and a lot of other people have made donations, and so it's a wonderful thing that we've been able to do this through a community effort, and so therefore we come to the art shows that we're able to have. And hopefully it's still a work in progress with the new kayak drop, which has provided us a parking lot that goes around the back end and has access to the walking trail, and brings us a lot of visitors to the art shows because they didn't know they were happening. They were just looking for access down there. So grateful for that addition, and hopefully more to come. Well, we're working with TWRA and the Corps of Engineers, and we really thought we might have the kayak ramp finished this year, and we may still. But we're looking forward to that, and that's going to happen. It'll be a good access point. And this was called Piper's Ford behind us here. And we've already got the sign up. And it's a wonderful access and a wonderful place for the county. And it gives access to the walking trail and to the Crump Parish Park here as well. And the newly renovated children's area too. Yeah, that's right. Which will be great. The new playground is in. It should be finished just any day now. That's awesome. Anyway, we came to talk about art shows. Yes. And I know you have some. Yes, we have. I just was going to tell you about the next 3 coming up, because that gets us into the end of the summer, basically. May 11th is our next art show. And that features Carolyn Ford, who's a ceramics artist. And she has so many great images carved into clay plaques, and she'll be exhibiting those works. She's basically, I like to think of it like a visual storyteller. She loves Southern phrases and Southern places, and a lot of her artwork features those phrases, like that dog will hunt, and nervous as a long-tailed cat in a
room for rocking chairs.
Exactly. So she does images like that, but then you'll probably, if you come to visit, we'll see some local places featured in her images as well. So that's kind of exciting. And she was a Gordonsville High School graduate a few years ago. I won't say how many.
VHS there.
Yes, alumni. So glad to have her return to show her work on May 11th. The next one after that is a new resident to our county who I met through the art shows here. She came to visit, and I was so glad that she did. Dana Gillette. She does some really whimsical pictures of some local places and some places that are more fantasy. Downtown Nashville images, things like that. So much fun. And if you check with the Courier and Smith County Insider, hopefully you'll see some more information about those 2 shows coming up, as well as on our Facebook page. And one of the other ones that I wanted to make sure that I told you about was our July event. On July 6th, we're having our art co-op sale. And the art co-op sale, we invite local artists and craftsmen to come and set up a small booth, either inside or out. And so that way local residents can come and see what kind of talent we have in the county, and it gives the artist a chance to sell their wares and get to know other artists and people in the community. So,
okay, well that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Now occasionally you'll have a food truck here too, is that right?
Every once in a while.
So we need to work on that.
Hopefully for July.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing to have.
Oh
too.
yeah. And the July event, if you are an artist or a craftsman who might be interested in showing, I hope you'll get in touch with us either on the Carthage Junction Depot Facebook page or through the chamber, or just message me directly.
Okay, just let us know, because we would love to have you participate, especially if you're a local artist.
And the more events we have, the more artists I meet. There are so many people who are creative, and they just keep coming, and it's exciting.
Okay, and I know I enjoy the art crawls where you go to the different places, and I'm hoping the chamber can be involved in some of those.
Yes,
as well.
hopefully. December is when we usually have our art crawl. This year we're going to move it to November, so we'll be the first ones that you can hit for your shopping list for Christmas.
Okay, well, hey, that is great, and maybe you can let us know, and we can open the chamber up, and I'll just come over there and sit on a Saturday and watch the
That'd be awesome. We'd love to do it.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to all that. But Jenny, thank you so much for everything that you guys do here and helping make the depot have a life again.
Well, we're proud to help and excited to show the artwork of our community.
Yes. You know, we have a garden spot in Smith County, and people talk about it, and it's got the right name. It's called Pleasant Shade.
Pleasant Shade.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tell you what, most everybody probably knows who you are, but introduce yourselves and tell them who you're with.
Hi, I'm Franklin Grandstaff. I'm with Jane Reed Pleasant Shade Cafe, and this is my wife, Frances. She's the boss.
There you go. And that sounds like a smart man to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, now you got a special event coming on, and of course, they have got a wonderful cafe. Let me talk just a little bit. They got a wonderful cafe in Pleasant Shade. It's just down from the community center. It's right there on the main drag, and some of the best food I've ever ate every time I go in. So now, go take it away.
Take it away. Okay. You can talk about the food, or you may go ahead to the marketplace?
Go ahead to the marketplace,
okay.
And then we'll get on the food.
Okay, on June 15th, we're having our first annual marketplace. And we're bringing in vendors from anywhere they want to come from. And we're trying to get different things. We've got people doing, in fact, we have Miss Opal. A lot of people know Miss Opal Kent, and she's doing the fried pies.
That's some of the best in the country.
Some of the best around here. But we got different ones. Some doing woodworking, some doing jewelry, some doing, let's see, what else we got? We got food coming. I'm doing food, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm doing food too. We got to see face painting. You can have your face painted. And we can do some fairy hair for you. Would you like fairy hair?
Some people would say I need both of them.
That's sir. Yes, sir. By the way, we're having a bouncy house. The fire department. This is all. By the way, the proceeds go to benefit the Pleasant Shade Fire Department.
Okay.
And the fire department has donated the bouncy house, so that is coming from them, and they are donating that. And so we got several things coming. just all kind of stuff. I can read them off. I have a whole list of here: jewelry, greeting cards, cakes are coming, some more baked goods are coming, arts and crafts, shirts, gifts, all kinds of things
Okay,
are
so
coming.
it's going to be a really fun day. Now, what's
Really
the
fun
date
day.
for this?
It's June 15th.
June 15th.
And we might even have some surprise music show up that day. So
Okay.
it wouldn't hurt to bring a fold-up chair with you.
Okay, because you got some really good musicians in the Pleasant State community.
Yes, sir. I sure do.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
they have some good concerts up there. A lot,
Yes,
a lot
sir.
of folks do it. And now, we need to talk about the food a little bit. Are you still doing the Sunday dinners?
I am. I'm still doing the Sunday buffet.
Yeah.
11 to 3.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We're still open Tuesday through Sunday.
Okay.
Right now we're open 7 to 6. Hopefully pretty soon we'll go back to our summer hours and be open a little later. So.
Okay, and you do breakfast?
Do breakfast,
Okay.
and lunch and dinner.
Okay, so you're, and the only day you're not open is
Monday.
The day I showed up.
The day you showed up and I wasn't there.
Yeah, I stood by the door and I longingly looked in. But so I'll make sure I show up Tuesday through Sunday next time.
Right.
But we're so glad you guys are here. The Jane Reed's Pleasant Shade Cafe, how did you come about with that name?
Why don't you take that one, honey?
Okay. Well, my middle name's Jane. His middle name's Reed. So we called it Jane Reed's.
Oh, okay. I've often wondered about that, so that's a good thing. Well, if you want a treat, you go down to Pleasant Shade, Tennessee, and it's just you kind of go past the turn to go to Defeated Creek.
Right, 3 more miles.
And it's 3 miles down the road, and it's not very far, and it is a wonderful treat. You will not be disappointed if you go to Jane Reed's Pleasant Shade Cafe. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed the show here at the Carthage Junction Depot. Hope you'll get a chance to maybe come by and look at it when they're having an art show here. Until next time, may God bless you, and we'll see you next month.